Hello, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at some Judge Dredd, specifically Essential Judge Dredd, Dredd Vs Death. Now this is a relatively new line, Essential Judge Dredd, and this is the 4th volume. I think, although it doesn't say it on there anyway, I think it does get mentioned on the back. It doesn't actually say it on there. And the first thing you may notice is the size may seem a bit weird. This is because British comics are bigger than American comics. If I grab one quickly, just to compare it there, and in fact if I grab a normal 2000 AD, there, as you can see, the British comics are just slightly bigger size, and they used to be even bigger. So that is why the size may seem a bit weird. So this is, let me see, £20 I believe, or $25 or 36 Canadian. Picked it up on the official 2000 AD store. If you want to go and check that out, I'll put a link in the description below. If you go and have a look round, there is some stuff on there, some issues, etc. that you can download for free. So it's worth going and having a look round and downloading the freebies just to have a look at, see if you like that sort of thing. This is a soft cover, and if we look at the front of it, it's got this marvellous artwork on it by Brian Bolland, who is probably best known for being the artist on Batman The Killing Joke. But we've got this excellent piece of artwork of Judge Dredd and Judge Death there. Spine, nice clear writing, nice clear lettering, and on the back and a couple of pieces of artwork and a bit of a write-up, which we shall get to. Now this, while we've got this here, let me just mention this for those that don't know. British comics used to be black and white, apart from the cover and the middle pages. So the first couple of stories we've got are black and white, and then we get into the colour period after that. I think the first story is from about 1980. Because 2000 AD started up in 1977. So, Essential Judge Dredd, Dredd Vs Death. What have we got inside? Well, let's read the write-up and then we'll have a look. The crime is life. The judgment is death. When Judge Death enters Mega City 1 from a parallel dimension, his plan is simple. To find every single living Sit and sentence them to death. The 4th volume in the Essential Judge Dredd series presents the first 3 terrifying adventures of Judge Death and the Dark Judges. Judge Death and Judge Death Lives by John Wagner and Brian Bolland are presented in their original stunning black and white and featuring restored pages, while 4 Dark Judges is presented in full colour. The critically acclaimed Essential Judge Dredd collection is a perfect jumping on point for new readers, and this volume is the perfect introduction to Judge Death, the Dark Judges, and wisecracking side judge Cassandra Anderson. So that's the write-up. Now inside we start with the original story, Judge Death. Now this is when this weird creature comes over from a parallel dimension where they have decided that crime is all committed by the living, so therefore living is a crime, so therefore the sentence is death. So they've murdered everyone in their own dimension, and he has now crossed over to Judge Dredd's dimension and has started work killing everyone off there. This of course doesn't go quite as he planned, because he runs afoul of the aforementioned Judge Dredd. And in this case, Dredd requires the help of side judge Cassandra Anderson to help him defeat Judge Death. And we then move on to the second story, which is called Judge Death Lives. Now this is the story that introduces the other 3 members of the 4 Dark Judges. Judges Fear, Fire and Mortis. So they cross over, they free Judge Death, and then they set about picking up where he left off. And so once again it is up to Judges Dredd and Anderson to lead the fight against the Dark Judges. And we then come on to the 3rd story, which is the first of the colour ones, which is 4 Dark Judges. Now this is not actually a Judge Dredd story, this is a Judge Anderson story. but obviously she's such a main part of the Judge Death and Dark Judges storyline that she gets her own entry in here. And in this particular story, she is tricked into bringing the 4 Dark Judges back. So obviously it is up to her to try and correct this. We then get story 4, Death Becomes Him. And we switch back to Judge Dredd in this case for this shorter story, and this features essentially Judge Death's spirit, I guess it is, possessing someone else. And we then go on to, I believe it's a single episode story called A Night with Judge Death. And this again is a Judge Dredd story, and this also features Mrs. Gunderson, who becomes a main character in the whole Judge Death storyline, mainly because she can't actually see anything, so she can't actually tell Judge Death is not a normal person. Now we then end up with something of an oddity, something called House of Death. This was originally published in Dice Man 1. Now this is not so much a story as a game. Now this is like one of the old make your own story books that you used to get, where you read the first entry and it then tells you you've got a couple of choices and you pick one, and whichever choice you pick, that tells you to go to that particular entry. And you work your way through going from entry to entry and jumping backwards and forwards, and you end up making up whatever your story ends up being, and then you can go back again and make different choices and have the story turn out different. So for example here with panel 9 you've got a choice of looking behind the shower curtain, in which case you go to panel 57, checking out the bathroom cabinet, in which case you go to panel 37, or leave and go up the stairs, in which case you go to panel 26. And if we jump to 26, you are then heading up the staircases, and then you've then got a choice of whether you go to the left or the right. So it is a make up your own story, Judge Dredd versus Judge Death story. And then just to finish it off, we have got a couple of colour pages at the back featuring a couple of covers and a couple of pin-ups. So there we go, that is Essential Judge Dredd Volume 4, Dredd Vs Death. That is it for this video. Until next time, remember, hit the thumbs up below, and I will see you in the next one.